In this video, what we're going to be talking about is why people get offended, the mechanism that is controlling people and why they're getting offended, why people take things personally, because there's a mechanism that controls why people take things personally. And we're going to talk about that in this video because most of the time people are living in their heads. Most of us have our attention and our focus in our heads without even realizing it. And so when you're living your life in this place, when you're living your life from the place of being stuck in your head, not realizing it, what's going to happen is you're going to take things a lot more personally than other people. The more you are in your head, the more the ego is controlling your life. And when I say ego, the unconscious thought processes that you were absorbed into without realizing it, the more that your attention and focus is unconsciously in the thought patterns, this is actually what is going to make you get more offended than the average person or in comparison to other people around you. Because when you are stuck in the head, what people call that is the ego sometimes. And when the ego is controlling your life, you get more offended. You take things personally. You take things as a threat that aren't necessarily a threat, but it's an idea that goes against your sense of self. And because it goes against your sense of self, you take it as a threat, because usually people get the most offended at things that they are very passionate about, things that they do for a living, things that their ego, their sense of self, or the false sense of self is actually invested in. So this is why people get offended. And so the core mechanism that really is controlling people getting offended, even when somebody didn't mean to intend to offend them, they take it personally anyway, really is the ego. And when I say the word ego, what I'm referring to is the unconscious thought processes that you may be absorbed into without necessarily realizing it. And so this is the core mechanism, because if you didn't have this investment into this false sense of self, if you didn't have the ego controlling your life, when I learned to observe my thoughts in meditation 3 years ago, what I learned is how to observe my thoughts, not get attached to them. When I started meditating, I learned how to observe my thoughts, not get sucked into them. And so what this taught me to do is to not take things as personally, not get sucked into the reactive patterns. Because sometimes when somebody said something to me that would usually make me react and take things personally, I'd say, wait a second, that has nothing to do with who I am. That has nothing to do with my sense of self. We take things personally because we feel like it's attacking who we are, when in reality, it's nothing more than an opposing idea that has nothing to do with who we truly are. It's just two ideas that are neutral. The problem is that when you take things personally, you're actually invested in the idea and you believe that's who you are on a deeper level, when it's nothing more than an idea that you are attached to, thinking that's who you are, and then now you take things personally. So this goes really, really deep, but the reason we take things personally is because we have a false sense of self and we have this investment into a thought pattern that is nothing more than a thought form. And if you really start to investigate what's happening here, this goes really, really deep, because it's nothing more than a thought form in your head. What an argument is two people defending ideas, and they take it to be who they are. They take it to be who they truly are, when it's nothing more than an idea. And sometimes this can even lead to physical violence. How insane is that? If you really start to investigate the core mechanism that controls most physical violence, even war on this planet, it has a lot to do with two opposing ideas, thought forms. Now think about that for a second. What are you defending when you get personally offended? Who are you defending? Are you defending a false sense of self based on thoughts that are not even who you are? That is something to investigate and put into question, because if you do this, you might start to notice that you're getting offended at things that have nothing to do with who you are. So that's all I have for this video. If you like this kind of content, then consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell, because I post a video every single day. If you want to connect a little bit deeper and learn how to stop being so absorbed by the content of your mind, stop feeding into these reactive patterns, and stop taking things so seriously, including your own emotions and your own thoughts, and finally let go of these patterns that are blocking you from becoming who you are truly meant to be, then consider checking out the website below in the description for a free consultation. Have yourself a great day, and see you in the next video.